Hello, I'm Denise LaFrance. Coming up on City Beat, Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagishima takes on First Lady Michelle Obama's challenge to end veteran homelessness, what the city has accomplished. If the Las Cruces resident who identified the dwarf planet Pluto were alive today, he would be amazed by the New Horizons spacecraft images being sent back from space. A look at the man and the mission. If you're looking for a low-impact workout, you may want to consider Aqua Zumba. We'll explain why in our City Job segment. And physical abilities will come in handy if you're interested in a job as a firefighter. Details on this and more just ahead. Hi, and welcome to City Beat for the month of August. Las Cruces Mayor Ken Miyagishima has been working for the past year with the Mesilla Valley Community of Hope to help curb homelessness. First Lady Michelle Obama challenged mayors across the nation to end veteran homelessness by the end of 2015, and Las Cruces is the first one in the state of New Mexico to do so. CLC's TV's Jennifer Martinez explains.
Tent City. Not what we consider cozy, but for many homeless veterans, these are better living conditions than many of them are used to. A year ago, more than 58,000 homeless vets were identified nationwide. A handful live here at Tent City. Last June, First Lady Michelle Obama introduced a new initiative at the White House. She says the number of homeless vets has dropped sharply in just a few years, but mayors across the country could address additional homeless vets in their own cities.
But we know that we are nowhere near finished. As I said before, any number above zero is way too high, and we still have tens of thousands of vets without a home, so we can't rest. Not even for a moment. And that's why I am so thrilled, and everyone in this building is so happy to announce a new effort called the Mayor's Challenge to End Veteran Homelessness.
Well, first off, it's a shame that our veterans are homeless. I mean, that we would allow something like that.
In mid-July, Mayor Ken Miyagishima and Nicole Martinez, the director of the Community of Hope, announced that many of the homeless veterans were being housed or helped in apartments like this one, dedicated to getting homeless vets back on their feet, all with the city's investment of just over $50,000.
I was really puzzled. I said, that's all you need, and you could bring us down to literally to zero. She said yes. So we went to work, and we had the money the next day, really.
We have essentially set up housing plans with each of them, so we have time frames for when they're going into housing. We're actively working with them on the housing. We also have sheltered them all. So that doesn't mean put them into housing, but it means that they're at least receiving services from the Community of Hope or, say, the Gospel Rescue Mission, that they're not just out there on their own.
The challenge asked mayors to house or be able to house vets by the end of 2015. During fiscal year 2014-2015, which ended June 30th, the Las Cruces agencies served 298 homeless and near-homeless veterans. They housed 79 of them, 70 male and 9 female.
So that's 79 veterans that would still be outdoors on their own if we weren't able to get them access to housing. We have several different grants that we do that.
Las Cruces gets credit for being the first city in New Mexico to meet the First Lady's challenge because of the community partners. Partners like Housing and Urban Development, Veterans Affairs Supportive Housing, or HUD-VASH, and the Mesilla Valley Public Housing Authority and volunteers, in addition to those who donate time and resources. For City Beat, I'm Jennifer Martinez.
Thank you, Jen. The city and Ms. Martinez say that residents can get involved in wiping out homelessness by donating time, furniture, or financial support. For more on how you can help, call the Mesilla Valley Community of Hope at 575-523-2219. Local and federal programs are also working together to make sure children are well nourished during the summer when they do not have access to food at school. Children, Youth and Families and the U.S. Department of Agriculture have funded a summer food service program. FYI helps to distribute the food to kids. The only requirement for these kiddos you see here in line is to be under the age of 18. At Young Park, these children get a hot meal 4 out of 5 days during the week. The 5th day may consist of a cold sandwich. The regional administrator for the Food and Nutrition Service says the program benefits everyone in our community.
New Mexico has been #1 in the nation utilizing this program for the last 10 years. You had great leadership. There's 59 sites here in the Las Cruces area, and it's a way to give a child a nutritious meal as opposed to a Coke and a honey bun or a pop.
The program ran from May 27th to July 31st, and some of the 40 locations also served breakfast. The New Horizons spacecraft got a close-up look at Pluto on July 14th, the dwarf planet that Las Cruces' very own Clyde Tombaugh discovered almost a century ago. CLC TV's Dominic Aragon gives us a behind-the-scenes look.
My name is Annette Tombaugh, and I am Clyde Tombaugh's oldest child.
I'm Alden Tombaugh. I'm his son. A lot of the details of the discovery of Pluto actually started with my father telling my sister and I about how he got the opportunity to be in the discovery process at Lowell Observatory.
It started out in farming. He worked with the soil. Well, when he moved to Kansas, there were a lot of fossils there. And he wondered about life on other worlds, other planets.
He didn't have the opportunity at that time to go to college. They had had several bad years of crop because of the weather conditions. They barely had enough money to reseed their next year's crops.
He started out building telescopes, and he enjoyed working with glass. He liked the process of grinding the mirrors and putting the optics together and assembling it all and using leftovers from the farm equipment to make them. He came out of the Depression, and he used everything he could.
The first one was a pretty miserable failure in his words. And then the third one he built was the 9-inch, and that turned out to be a very good telescope. And it enabled him to be able to draw pictures of his Mars observations.
When he first wrote to Lowell Observatory, he wanted them to give him suggestions to build better telescopes. And so he sent them some of his drawings of Mars and Jupiter, and they wrote back that they would like to hire him to work there. He had to pour the emulsions for the photographic plates, because in those days you poured your own emulsions. So the surface of the plates had to be slightly curved. They would break. So he redesigned the plate holder so that they wouldn't have that problem.
Then is when he had to really buckle down to the drudgery of looking for a planet.
He did it on a blink comparator. It takes time. You do the exposures, then maybe a week later or even longer, you blink the plates on the blink comparator back and forth, and then you would verify. You predict where it would be at another particular night.
We got a pretty clear indication at that point in time of how much work it really did take, because just of the massive number of objects that he had to scan.
And these are little tiny specks of light. They're like fly specks on a piece of glass. He thought he had found something, so he got up and went into Dr. Lamplin's office and said, "Dr. Lamplin, I believe I have found your planet X." For a minute, he was the only one that knew that there was another object out there, another planet. And that made him feel elated, unusual. Then he later on, when we moved to New Mexico, he worked for White Sands on the V-2 rockets, tracking them and designing paint patterns that would make it easier to track them. As he got older, it got harder and harder for him to move his telescopes around to inspire other people, to teach them, to take them out to the schools.
He mounted it on an old lawnmower base in order to make it easily transportable.
And it worked out beautifully, and he just put it in a little shed, and somebody come over and he'd pull it out. We call it the grazer gazer, as in grazing, mowing the lawn and gazing at the stars. I think my dad would be thrilled with the New Horizon. I mean, who wouldn't be? When he looked at Pluto, it was just a speck of light.
Some of my father's ashes are on that spacecraft, and part of him got to visit the speck on the plates that he discovered in 1930. It's going to be something that has become an integral part of our lives and our families' lives.
He would have been astounded. And I'm sure that to have the planet that you discovered better defined, better understood, it would have meant so much to him.
We are searching for frequencies. Stand by.
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty exciting event from the astronomy perspective, but especially exciting for event from the Las Cruces perspective, because there's a lot of history in this town with Pluto. And although we don't have anyone in our department right now that's actively associated with this mission, I think a lot of us are really keenly looking at the results are coming in, and I'm sure that we're going to have students this fall in our intro classes that are going to be interested in hearing about what's going on.
Yes. Okay, copy that. We're in lock with telemetry with the spacecraft.
Really exciting. I mean, this mission was launched 9.5 years ago, so it's taken quite a while to get there. It was interesting that the closest approach, which occurred last week, was 50 years to the day after the first flyby of the planet Mars. It was a nice kind of bookend to completing the first reconnaissance of the solar system.
Now the solar system will be further opened up to us, revealing the secrets of distant Pluto. The revelations of new horizons may help us to understand better how our solar system was formed. We explore because we are human, and we want to know. I hope that Pluto will help us on that journey. I will be watching closely, and I hope you will too.
Thanks, Dominic. New Horizons is currently collecting more data and images of Pluto and its moons. The U.S. Navy's training Air Wing 4 returned to Las Cruces in late July for 2 months of training. Air Wing 4 is based in Corpus Christi and has utilized Las Cruces International Airport for about 10 years. About 90 students, instructors, and staff train here, and training could determine whether pilots will fly helicopters, multi-engine aircraft, or fighter aircraft jets. The Las Cruces Regional Aquatic Center is more than just a pool for kids or workout room for adults. It's a multi-generational fitness destination. In this edition of City Jobs, we meet Zumba instructor Maricela Lang, who leads her class in the water.
Back, side, front, side, back, side, front. My name is Maricela Lang. I am a licensed Zumba instructor, and I've been teaching Aqua Zumba for the city of Las Cruces for around 3 years at the Regional Aquatic Center. Aqua Zumba is a Latin-based fun party in the water. You don't really know that you're working out until afterwards. When you get out of the pool, you're like, wow, I really did work out that day. I really enjoy teaching Aqua Zumba because it's very rewarding. I get to see people on their fitness journeys lose weight or just stay in shape. I have anywhere between, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 30 people that come. It just depends on people's schedules. For each class, I would say it probably takes around 2 to 3 weeks. If I were to change my entire choreography, I would have to practice every day, 2 to 3 weeks, just to really get it, not have to use notes or anything like that. If I'm learning just one song, I can usually do it in 1 day. Now that I'm more of a seasoned instructor. I get out of the Aqua Zumba fitness program is just, I really enjoy my participants. I enjoy seeing them, work out and have fun and splash and be fun and just have a great time. And it also is a big stress relief to me as well, because I have a busy home life. I homeschool my children, so it really helps me to release stress as well in a really fun way.
Thank you, Maricela. If you would like to take part in the Aqua Zumba, you can visit the Las Cruces Regional Aquatic Center on Hadley Avenue on Tuesdays and Thursdays, beginning at 5:30 p.m. The cost is $2 or $1 for seniors. If you want to vote in the November election and haven't registered, you may want to take some time in August or September to do so. Details ahead in our City Minute. There are several places to register to vote within Las Cruces. To view a full list of those places and all of Doña Ana County, head to the city's website at las-cruces.org and click on the Voting Hot Topic link. Early voting for Las Cruces City Councilors, Mayor, and Presiding Judge will start on October 7th. You must be registered by October 6th. You can early vote at City Hall from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on these Saturdays in October from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Early voting ends on Halloween, October 31st. New Mexico State football returns to Aggie Memorial Stadium in September. Home games are on the 12th and 19th of September against Georgia State and UTEP. Games begin at 6 p.m. And the last scheduled movie in the park is on August 22nd. That's Disney Natured Chimpanzee. Movies begin at 7 p.m. at Apodaca Park. If you're looking for fulfilling and a rewarding career opportunity, the Las Cruces Fire Department could be your choice. The fire department is currently recruiting for its upcoming academy. Here with more is CLC TV's Udelvi Hill with this edition of Ask the.
Hello and welcome. Our guest for this edition of ASTA is Jason Smith, Deputy Chief of the Las Cruces Fire Department. Deputy Chief, thank you for joining us on ASTA.
Thank you.
Now, you're currently recruiting for the newest or the latest fire academy. What type of person are you looking for?
That is correct. We're recruiting right now for Academy 30, and the type of person we're looking for is somebody who is customer service oriented, who wants to make an impact in their community.
And what does the academy consist of? What can a cadet expect?
You can expect a lot of long hours, physical training, book work, studying. The academy is made up of several portions, one being fire training, another one being EMS response if you're not already licensed.
And this academy is not just for males, right? You're also looking for female cadets to attend.
We are. We're open to anybody, male, female. It doesn't matter what your background is. What really matters is what type of service you want to provide and your capability to become a firefighter.
Okay. And cadets can expect to be paid if they are accepted and go through the program, the academy, correct?
That is correct. It is a paid academy. You do become a full-time employee, temporary. You can find out about the pay rate through our website.
Okay. And go ahead and give us the web address.
The web address is CLCFD.
Okay, very good. Well, Deputy Chief Jason Smith with the Las Cruces Fire Department, thank you very much for joining us on ASTA.
Thank you.
Thanks, Edel. Again, to apply, you will need to fill out an online application through the City of Las Cruces Human Resources Department. You can get there by visiting las-cruces.org. Well, that's all for this episode of City Beat. Remember, tune in for live City Council meetings right here on Mondays at 1 p.m. Plus, all archived meetings and programs can be found on CLC TV. Don't forget to like us on our Facebook page. I'm Denise LaFrance. Thanks for joining us.